Hello there, I'm Muriel.
And I'm Brian. Welcome to the channel.
It was before we met. I was flying across the ocean on my concert tours, and Brian was sailing across it on his Grampian 30 sailboat. So now we're inviting you to join us.
Yeah, come along as we go to some interesting places and work up Muriel's sailing skills to a point where she might consider a crossing.
Maybe, and maybe work up Brian's musician skills, so maybe he'll join me on stage, or at least hanging out backstage with some of my cool musician friends.
Oh, and she's got some friends. So grab a cup of coffee, grab your significant other, and join us for some great moments. When we last left you, we were just settling down for a peaceful night at Kellikov. This island, like most of the Elizabeth Islands, are privately owned by the Forbes family, but they graciously invite people ashore to enjoy the beach. And so, before pushing on to the Cape Cod Canal, we did exactly that, rode ashore to have a swim and enjoy this place. Muriel certainly did. Our plan on leaving Kellikov was to get up near the canal entrance and find a place to anchor, but events would intercede. As we passed Woods Hole, Muriel called her friend David Eisenberg, who runs a concert series out of his home, at which she's played. And he happened to be on his boat at the time and came over to our position and rendezvoused. Here Muriel's passing him a copy of her latest project, Acoustic Chef, which is a cookbook / CD of music.
Hey! I really, there's a whole lot of shelter up there. West Melbourne Harbor, all kinds of places. Yeah.
And that's real nice?
It's very sheltered. Pay attention. Go right between the buoys. There's rocks on both sides. Yeah, then I can come, we can socially distance.
All right, we'll go in there.
I can bring you some red bass.
Woo!
Well, we liked his idea of anchoring nearby, and the chance for a quick visit sounded good too.
And so we did. We went on into Quisset, and it was beautiful. There had to be close to 20 of these gorgeous little Pershoff 12.5s in here.
So, true to his word, David returned with a bag of goodies, including homegrown veggies and fresh striper. He also lent me a good raincoat.
No problem.
So, we visited for a little bit and made plans for a more substantial visit when we returned from Maine. Well, I'm working on a new tune. It's out of Dad tuning, but in the key of A. So I'm just getting started, just a couple ideas.
Sweet. And tomorrow morning, we head up that way to the Cape Cod Canal.
And on to Provincetown.
The Cape Cod Canal is only 7 miles long, but it artificially connects two bodies of water whose times of high and low tide are about 2.5 to 3 hours apart. This makes guesstimating tides and currents in the canal a little confusing. And since you can face up to 6 knots of current in your face, you want to get it right. Fortunately, the Army Corps of Engineers has a website that makes it really easy. It shows the exact moment the current begins moving east or west from the old railroad bridge, which is right here. I'll try to list that link below. Although the current switched only recently, we've already got a 3-knot current adding to our speed over ground, or SOG, or SOG. Once through the canal, the breeze filled in from dead astern, and so we put up the flasher and had a really terrific, sun-drenched 20-mile run to P-Town.
Today was an exciting day for me because I noticed in the distance what looked like it could be a small boat, and that was pretty far from shore. So I grabbed the binoculars, and sure enough, it was someone struggling with their oars, and there was a pretty good crosswind, so we diverted our path to see if it was someone who needed help. It was a lady who not only had lost her outboard motor, but had hurt her wrist.
All right, I think we have you home.
That would be a long road to her bridge.
Long road. Oh, it's our pleasure, really.
We did get ashore briefly and had thoughts of dinner there, but ended up just getting a few things at a store and getting back aboard. Once there, we said goodnight to our well-heeled neighbors.
The next day's 110-mile crossing from P-Town over to Monhegan would be my first time on the ocean out of sight of land for over a day. Towards the beginning of the crossing, Brian knew that there was an area with a natural ocean shelf where the humpback whales would often congregate. So we headed that way, made a slight detour, and just to see if we could spot some whales.
Stellwagen Bank is an undersea formation that drives the deep-sea currents upwards, bringing with it lots of krill and other small animals that the humpback whales like.
There is. His back.
Well, there was another boat there, and a humpback whale seemed to be playing around the boat. First diving underneath their boat, then it came over and gave us a show and dove completely underneath the boat, popping up the other side. What a thing to see.
That last tail, they seemed to be done, so we pushed on toward Monhegan Island. We then came across these two. They must be tired after a long day of showing off for the tourists, so we let them be and carried on.
This wasn't the fastest sail, but I was just as happy to have the conditions for this first little crossing be smooth and easy.
Muriel's below cooking some striped bass. All right.
Okay, day 6 of our travels, and look, we have fresh lettuce, zucchini, and striper.
Oh, let me have that striper.
Isn't that wonderful?
Sweet, look at that. Thank you, David. I know what you're thinking, that I'm some sort of throwback to Archie Bunker, just sitting here in my keister while Muriel makes all these meals. Well, the truth of it is quite far from it. And if only Muriel would pick up a camera and prove it. Well, we had to motor for a few hours going into the evening, but thankfully the breeze did return.
Brian took most of the night shift, and I relieved him about 4 in the morning, so got to watch this beautiful sunrise.
It's the prototypical scene you imagine yourself having before you leave on a trip like this. Having motored a bunch these past few days, we are really enjoying this right now. And then some invaders broke our reverie. Black flies.
And lots of them.
And their bites give me great enthusiasm for smashing every one of them and turning them into fish food. As the flies left us, our thoughts turned toward Monhegan, and for me, a particular place on Monhegan. My great-uncle, Junius Allen, was a painter by profession and did this scene in 1941. I've been to the spot before, and it's always so satisfying to see how little it's changed.
That's not a shark, is it?
No, that's an ocean sunfish.
Well, how can you tell?
Well, you see the way that fin is flopping back and forth? A shark's fin would never do that.
Ah. What an interesting looking fish.
Oh, they are just bizarre. It's like a big head with a tail stuck on it. They must taste terrible, otherwise the sharks would have a field day with these things.
We saw a few more as we approached the harbor.
Well, we finally gave in to the thought that the breeze just wasn't going to come back today, and so we took the sails down. Fortunately, we were just a couple of miles out from Monhegan Harbor. So join us next time as we explore Monhegan Island and then dive deeper into Penobscot Bay.
And have some chance encounters and really unique musical moments ashore. Please hit the subscribe button.
And hit those like and notification buttons. They really all help us out.
Yes. See you next time.
Thanks so much.